Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. Last fall I took a kaleidoscope making class from Mark Tickle in Jerome, Arizona, and it was a great class. We made a fantastic kaleidoscope which, if you look through, gives you tremendous patterns on the inside. The scope is made with a window to the side which lets in more light, which enhances it, but oftentimes a flashlight or really bright sunlight helps. So I decided to make a side light, kaleidoscope light enhancer to go with this. So turn that on and I slide it over it, and then as I rotate it to get the light in line with the window, I can actually really soup up the light display that's inside. So let's make a light enhancer for a kaleidoscope for this project. Since this is a segmented project, I will review the basic segmenting process because segmented rings actually do not grow on trees. I'm using my second generation wedgie sled, a 12 segment and 30-degree template, a zero clearance saw throat, a length stop, and a saw blade guard. This second generation sled is easier to make and a little more versatile than the original. Other than that, they work equally well. Please note the blade guard. I rarely see one in use in other segmenting videos. It is backed up by my saw stop for safety. I'm shooting this glue sequence at the fourth ring. After cleaning up any saw debris, I glue pairs of segments to each other using the rub joint technique. This time, instead of cutting another set of segments, I'll catch up gluing previous rings that have been drying while I cut this set. That is about all the glue time that is necessary at this stage. Then glue pairs into quartets and designate the third pair that would complete the half ring. The third pair will have to wait for the next round. The half rings have been trued on the disc sander so that now I can glue them together into full rings. Occasionally I will use a band clamp, but not this time with this size of ring. At this point, all rings are sufficiently dry after probably at least an hour and are ready to sand one side on the disc sander. At least one side has to be completely flat before proceeding. Since I have a drum sander, I sand the rough side and reduce the thickness. If I did not have a drum sander, I would do this ring by ring on the lathe as they are being glued up. Further, I may do this anyway since it is so convenient at the lathe. Now to glue rings together. The walnut ring is glued to a faceplate. I find threaded faceplates terribly convenient. I have dozens of them. Then the first maple ring is glued on. For this size, a cone center provides alignment. With the walnut and first maple ring glued to a faceplate, this is a convenient time to start hollowing the interior while the tool rest can be very close. I need to fit the hollow to my LED light holder. A box scraper and the continuous side grain makes shavings fly, almost like wet wood, but without the shower. Ready to glue on the next maple ring, and the next after any necessary thickness change and sanding. These last two joints can be glued in quick succession, only waiting the minimum time for glue to set. After at least an hour drying time, I can again hollow with the box scraper. It is nearly always better to do interior work while the tool rest is close. This is one aspect of segmented turning that I am very grateful for. I could do some exterior work also, if I wanted to, but I don't want to this time. Now for the next ring. Do you have the glue versus hollow picture yet? Using another faceplate, it is time to turn down the exterior. No spectacular shaping on this project. I do not want to steal the show from the kaleidoscope. With my bow gouge, I take light, gentle, almost sheer cuts until the segment points are gone. Then I take any cut I want, but usually I favor sheer cuts since I'm not removing very much wood. I left the last ring a bit thick so that I could size it exactly to the LED holder. The excess wood flies off with the box scraper. Now for the top ring. I have already cut a mortise for the threaded ring for the LED holder. Now I can use that mortise while I have it mounted this way. After sanding, I add a decorative groove before the final touch-up, sanding over the groove, and then apply wipe-on poly from the big box store. Since this will be handled a lot, I want a polyurethane finish on it. After comparing the thickness of the opposite walnut ring, I can proceed to finish this end also. Off camera, I cut a shallow groove on the inside of the cylinder. I'll use that shortly for a mortise hold. For now, I can be liberal in parting off the cylinder. I have plenty of thickness in that walnut ring. With the cylinder reversed and mounted, I can finish shaping the walnut ring before sanding and applying the wipe-on poly to this ring. How about a kaleidoscopic light show? Fantastic, isn't it? A kaleidoscope takes light and mirrors it into fantastic patterns. This piece further enhances the experience. I made these kaleidoscopes under the close supervision and guidance of Mark Tickle, an excellent kaleidoscope artist. I love them plain and also when enhanced with this light piece. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my website as well as on YouTube. Please spread the word by telling your friends about my weekly videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Please wear your full face shield whenever the lathe is running. Yes, I nag, but I hope to save your life or at least your sight.